Well, I guess I'll start off with my name. I'm Calem Smith. I've been working on this idea for many years now. I started out as the project manager for Feathercoin back in 2014, but I did see Bitcoin back in 2011, and then I didn't pay much attention to it. Unfortunately, I watched the price crash from $20 to $2. And I had a look at the inflation model, the block halving reward scheme specifically, and I just assumed that Bitcoin was a Ponzi, and I walked away from it. I came back in 2013 to see the price, around $200, and I decided that I was going to hang around and see if I can find someone who agreed with me in regards to the inflation model. Was not too long after that, that, like I said, I started helping Feathercoin out, and ultimately I left Feathercoin to try and start my own coin, start my own network, using this inflationary theory that I had.
Okay, let's start with the coin from the first. What is the coin is, when it was launched, and what algorithm it used? And also we can go further, and you can tell us if it used mining options, and what the preference for miners and for holders. So what is the difference, if you have difference from any other coins, and what the preferences your coin gives to holders?
Okay, well, the biggest difference between Zero Zed and every single other coin that's existed, with the exception of a couple of others, is the inflation model. Now, normally the reward gets halved every 4 years with Bitcoin, and many other networks have played around with the with modifying that, changing it slightly, but ultimately it's still a reducing block reward. The problem that I see with that is that it doesn't abide by supply and demand. You need to have supply and demand at an equilibrium in order to maintain a stable price in any sort of economy. This is simply not the case with cryptocurrency for the most part. The hopes are that ultimately we can create a stable price. Now, I'm not going to say that it can be pegged to the US dollar or anything like that. Prices will always fluctuate, but I'm hoping that ultimately it will be a much more stable reward model in regards to
for miners. So you mean reward model for holders? Nope.
For miners, yes. It's a proof of work script coin. Mm-hmm. So very classic.
Yeah, it's a classic mining option. So everybody who have video.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is script, which means that it's pretty much targeted for ASICs. There is a huge industry with SHA-256 ASICs and script ASICs and so on and so forth. Now, I personally believe that the script ASIC industry has a lot more room for movement than the Bitcoin ASIC industry, and on top of that, it's a lot more tried and true, so to speak. Script has been tested quite thoroughly.
Mm-hmm. How many mining pools you have? Mining pools. How many people mine? How many people mine your coin?
Zeros. Mm-hmm. Well, it's really hard to tell how many miners we currently have.
So
sorry?
If we're talking about Bitcoin or Ethereum, we can see the pools for miners, and we can imagine how many people are mining.
Currently, we have one pool, mm-hmm. But because the hash rate is so low, everyone is choosing to solo mine, mm-hmm. And I don't have the technical ability to analyze the blockchain enough to give any sort of estimates as to how many miners we do or do not have. It could be anywhere between 10 to 100, I would be guessing, at this stage.
So your coin can be received only by mining, or you have
only mining? No proof of stake. It's only mining.
Only mining. No ICOs. No something.
No ICO. Now, because of the fact that we're testing an economic inflationary theory here, we couldn't really bootstrap the economy, so to speak, by using ICO as a method. What we've done is what everyone was doing back in 2013, 2014, and that is pre-mining. Now, pre-mining normally had massive problems because, once again, they all sat on the halving model reward. So it made it very, very easy for projects to essentially exit scam and just dump their pre-mine into the growing volume, into the growing interest. And then basically after about 6 to 8 months, devs just disappeared. The amount of projects are countless where community members had to step up and take over the blockchain because the devs pre-mined, they dumped the coin, and then they exit scammed. Now with Zeros, we can't really exit scam because the supply and the demand doesn't allow for it. The incentive for us to continue to work 5 years and well on to the future is there.
But, such
we did with ICO. We pre-mined a little bit. We'll be selling small amounts over the years to afford to buy our way onto some major exchanges if it is worth the money, and also to hire developers and also to pay for server costs, so on and so forth.
Such options look very similar to, if you heard, of course you heard about the green token, green. Mimble, Wimble, or...
Oh yes, Grin. Yes, yeah. I'm actually semi-interested in Grin as they actually use a different inflationary model, a very different inflation model to Bitcoin. I like Grin. I do.
Do you think
I hope.
Could they be their competitors or something like this? Your competitors for your token. They use mining options too. They work only with mining options. They don't have any ICOs, and you can receive this token.
No, they didn't pre-mine. Yeah. They didn't pre-mine those, so I have a lot of respect for Grin for that. Unfortunately, I am just one person. I was just one person trying to get this project off the ground. I don't know how to program. I don't know how to code. I work purely on theory. So Grin had many developers excited to work on the project because it was something completely new and radical. Whereas I'm literally just like Bitcoin with 2-minute block times. I'm using Litecoin's script mining algorithm, and the core of the whole project is the inflation algorithm, which is designed to release coins at a rate where the projected adoption.
Okay, do the coin have some practical implementation if it used in any, I don't know, any project except your own? Maybe in stores or something like this. Or are you planning to do this?
Oh, well, I guess in the future, once we've actually, got a pretty decent community going, we've got a lot of momentum going, I guess there'll be a lot of approaching, stores and merchants and so on and so forth. But that's not really the point of the project.
Okay, talking about the team, can you talk about your team too? You know that the Green, what we already talked about it, they have a lot of people who work on this project. How many people works in your project? How many people work with you in your team? Do they have any experience that allows them to say that they have any experience in cryptocurrency? in crypto and all this stuff. What you can say about your team and how you can you introduce them like specialists, you know?
Well, I've got Peter Bushnell, the founder of Feathercoin, for a start. He's he's our commissioned developer.
Mhm.
He has quite a history behind him, quite a decent reputation. He's been in the space for a long time now.
So
We
it's your first project in crypto, yeah? For all of
well,
your team? No?
for me personally, yeah. I mean, this is my first personal project, and it's going to be my last. I assure you that.
You don't like it? Why last?
Sorry?
Why you think that it will be the last year project in crypto?
Because I have absolutely no intentions of leaving this project at all. This project is going to be my life's work. Okay, if I do one thing with my life, it's to fix the problem with cryptocurrency. I only launched Zeros to prove my theory. There are so many projects out there that I jumped in to help out with, and I begged, would you consider having a look at the inflation model and changing the inflation model? I've got this theory in regards to the diffusion of innovations and how it relates to crypto economics, and I'd like you to do that, but no one did, and ultimately I had to do it myself. And this project Zeros is going to be my legacy. With that said, myself and the team, we do have plans on actually launching a proof of stake variant to try out this economic inflationary theory. It should be interesting to see how that goes. The problem with proof of stake is that technically it's a lot of people call it nothing at stake, because technically,
it's so hard
those
to
with the most amount.
It's so hard to do.
Sorry?
It's hard to do.
No. Proof of stake is easier to pull off than proof of work. And then even more so, it's even easier to just launch a token as well. But with proof of work, you've got a lot more going on in the background. With proof of stake,
so
there's no mining infrastructure behind it.
Yeah. You will use two models, proof of work and proof of stake as well. Yeah. Or you will leave just one. So
Zeros will always be proof of work.
Okay. So talking about the team and your coin, let me ask the question about your community. Do you have one, and who are these people?
Our community is mostly anonymous. Our community, they're predominantly cypherpunks, anarcho-capitalists, libertarians, mostly people who want to remain anonymous. So I really can't speak much about the community, as they stay pretty invisible for the most part.
I see. Okay, what you can say about the analogs or competitors for your token? Do you have one, or you think you have one, or if it's possible to say so?
Okay, the closest analogy, the closest analogs to zeros would be Bitcoin for a start, or the Bitcoin 0.13 code base, and also Litecoin, because they use the script proof of work algorithm. But you know what? I reckon it's SafeX Cash. SafeX Cash is a really good project. They're doing the same thing as what I'm doing in regards to using the diffusion of innovations as their inflation, and they've got a really solid team behind them, and they completely have my support. Although I'm pretty sure I'm invisible to them.
I see. Okay, let me ask the question that we ask to all other people who we make interview with. What do you think about the future of cryptocurrency? After all these ups and all these downs and all this situation?
Right. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the future of cryptocurrency pretty much is what it is right now. Okay, what you're going to do is what you're going to see is inflation, market cycles. Basically, it's just going to be market cycles, one market cycle after the next. Prices are going to rally. They're going to go to the moon, and then they're going to crash, and then people are going to get bled out, and they're going to get washed out of their money. Basically, what we saw happen in 2017 and then in 2018, you're going to see that again and again and again and again because of the supply-demand bottleneck that the halving model creates. It's going to take a long time. It's going to take a long time to get global adoption for cryptocurrency, especially if we're talking about your classic proof of work, Bitcoin-like networks. I personally don't think it looks too good. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
After all this rally, after all these downs, after all these ups, many investors thought that cryptocurrency can just off. This world will collapse at all, and we will never see the high prices for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all other currencies. What do you think about it? Do we need to wait some to the moon for all of them, for all of you, for all of us, or it will be down at all, and it will be like other people say, crypto winter. If it's ready to over,
You're always going to have crypto winter after crypto winter after crypto winter. You're going to have crypto winter, then you're going to have crypto summer, then you're going to have crypto winter, then you're going to have crypto summer. Yeah. The price will go up, the price will go down. Basically, the only way that I see cryptocurrency in its current form gaining mainstream adoption is by big corporations and the government backing it via ETFs, etc. And at that stage, people won't even feel, they won't even see the crypto, okay? It's all going to be in the back end. That's what mainstream adoption will ultimately be for cryptocurrency. People won't even know that they're using crypto. Cryptocurrency has been molded and directed for those with the most amount of money and power, and ultimately it's been molded for the corporations and the government. And this Bitcoin Cash has, the right idea. They're trying to keep cryptocurrency the way it should be, about, peer-to-peer transactions. It's supposed to be about being a money, but yeah.
But it's not only the question of money. It's the more urgent question is the question of technology itself, the future of this technology, and how do you think it will rise down? What will be with the technology? What will be with the market at all?
That's the problem right there. The high prices, the low prices. People are only in cryptocurrency to make money. Now, okay, sure, that's fine, but when you have 80% of Bitcoin in the hands of only 1% of the global population, you're going to have price manipulation. Yeah. And the damage is already done.
What you can say to our holders, to DEEX holders, to traders, and all the people who wants to say something, to listen something about the cryptocurrency and what they need to do. What do you think they need to do on this market? Sell, buy, hold, or maybe?
Okay, well, look, I don't know what the investors need to do, but what I want the miners and what I want the developers to do in Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, you name it, they all need to change their inflation models to resemble the diffusion of innovations in regards to the rate at which coins are released. What I think would be a benefit is if the Ponzi-like inflationary model is swapped out for a diffusion of innovations-based model.
Okay.
What I would like to say is just people do your research, use your own brains, don't copy other people's opinions. Formulate your own opinions, do your own research, do your own reading. Don't be lazy. Learn the basics. But I'm trying to envision how cryptocurrency would operate in a world without a government, in a world where private businesses are able to trade freely on the free market, etc. Without having the government as like a 0-day exploit. Companies aren't really incentivized to provide for the customer's best needs outside of trying to take out their competition, and they can use the government to do that. So I'm trying to. My personal opinion is that cryptocurrency was developed for a world where you don't need a government to regulate. You don't need a government to to control everything. So that's kind of where I'm coming in at this from. I'm coming in from the old cypherpunk, from the libertarian sort of viewpoint on cryptocurrency. I don't want to see it. I mean, some of it is going to be very good, in regards to businesses and corporations. Some of it will be fine, but the problem is all cryptocurrency is being molded that way.
Okay, but we see the situation when government regulations will take all the cryptocurrencies, and it's
look, the price will probably, the Bitcoin will probably go to $100,000 a piece, once they get ETFs and government regulation, because it means that these big businesses are able to sort of control and manipulate the market even more so.
What you can say in the end to all the people? You already told many things, but some conclusion, some final things.
This is the biggest thing that I repeat as much as possible to get the idea across to people is I touched on it earlier. 80% of the Bitcoin is in 1% of the population's hands. The remaining 20% of Bitcoin is going to take another 100 years to produce. Now, this is the same for basically all cryptocurrencies. They all use the same halving model. It creates a supply-demand bottleneck. There's too much supply with too little demand, and then, well, there you go. You've got extreme price instability. People say, but once it's adopted, once we've got global adoption and whatnot, the price will stabilize. It's not how economics works.
So thanks again,
I'm so sorry.
Calem. Thanks for speaking about your coin. Thanks for telling us about the algorithm you use and all this stuff. Okay, so I can just say that trade and use your brain, like you said previously.
Definitely, yep.
Yeah. Okay, thanks everybody. Thank you, Calem, and maybe see you again later. Okay. Bye.
Possibly. See ya.